put them down there in the bottom. We'll definitely, Sonny will definitely get back to you.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
didn't have to be after the show because we're rolling with you on a tripod right now, looking at you. And I need glasses, so I can't see all the way over there.
Well, same here.
I'm like, I get so frustrated because I had LASIK.
Yeah, I did as well.
Right, and I don't want glasses.
Yeah.
I need to find some really cool glasses actually, so it kind of fits the style and brand. But that's what I don't want because I like being on camera without glasses. But I can't see anything over there.
I can't either. So my LASIK, I think I had that done about 22 years ago. 21, 22.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, and they told me I'm going to need glasses or a recorrection for LASIK.
Oh, they did.
Yes. So the recorrection for LASIK is obviously a little bit cheaper, but I just haven't gone through with the appointment to kind of see what needs to be done.
Yeah, I did
It's
it
just a
once.
correction.
I felt it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if going back a second time is what I need to do.
Well, the technology's improved so much, Bob. Think about it. 22 years ago.
20 years ago, they actually touched your lid and all that stuff. Now, it's all technology.
Yeah, it's all LASIK right through the lens, and it's amazing. So I don't have a problem with taking. It's not. I took the risk 22 years ago. I'm taking less of a risk now based on technology improvement. Mm-hmm. Right. So.
Yeah. So hey, we live? We are good. Alexa, off, please.
With the please.
She doesn't like please. She just likes Alexa off. All right, we are on the 81st jam session. This is the 81st episode of the Bob Mortgage Jam Session.
Wow.
And Sonny with EXP stops by. What's up, brother?
Thank you, brother, for having me over. I'm great.
Good, man. I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to the show. It's amazing.
Well, thank you.
Opportunity and.
Got a little production studio here.
Oh yeah, it's more like a film studio.
Well, I had to step my game up because Brandon comes in here with like a digital marketing film background or whatever. I'm like, holy crap, man, I got to get lights, camera, action type stuff.
Hey, you guys don't see what's in the background here, but I'll take a picture of this after the show is over, and I'll post that as well, so you guys can see what goes into making these episodes happen.
I appreciate that. It's a lot of, it looks cool, right, because it's the lights and all the cameras and everything, but then there's a lot of those pieces of technology, the mixers, and just little things that we do, and he runs all these Apple products over there to distribute everything live, so it's pretty cool, man. But
it is.
Yeah, I'm very, very blessed and lucky to have at that Ginger BP. Follow him. You can pick up some pretty good tips from the guy. He has some good kits out there on the types of equipment you should use.
Nice.
Yeah, some good stuff. He's a keeper.
Oh well, apparently from what I was talking about how he got onboarded.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, I mean, shows up. If you see him now, you know what he's. I mean, he's in T-shirts, polo shirts, and Vans, but he shows up in a suit for his interview.
Yeah,
and he knows I don't even wear suits.
Well, that was the first impression.
It
That's
was.
What counts.
It was. He's never worn a suit since.
And he's probably loving it because you know what? This job is hard enough with suit.
Oh my God! Well, look at you.
Just dressing for the occasion. So.
Yeah, well, guys, we're going to show the shoes here in a little bit.
Oh, Lord.
Brandon's going to have to tilt the camera or something down because these shoes are amazing. I mean, they're spiked.
They're spiked just in case I have to hurt somebody.
No, you're not hurting anybody here.
No, not here.
We never say no to loans. We always say yes.
Just in case. Like, if I'm hanging out with my girl, I need protection. I got protection right here.
That means that's a different word for protection, right?
Yeah. But no, appreciate that. And I don't pull them out. I did wear them at the Seppies when I saw you.
I know. And shout out to James Sharp out there.
Yeah.
Because you guys had a little competition on the shoes.
We kind of did. Yeah.
Yep.
But, equally, he had amazing shoes, man. They were blinging.
He always blings on the shoes.
They were blinging, so. No, that was good.
I don't have the bling on the shoes. I'll do colors and everything to kind of go against my jackets and stuff like that. But I haven't found the bling style for me yet on shoes.
There's plenty out there. You will. If not you, Jennifer will find it for you.
I need either Puma or Vans or something like that to come up with some bling. So I need to run them in tinnies. So what's good? What's been going on, man? I mean, you've been. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. You had a big transition. You're You're doing some amazing things with EXP. I want to talk about a lot of that type of stuff. I want to kind of get into, things that you're experiencing now, the value proposition with what you're bringing to the table. But let's kind of talk about a little bit about like why you're in this business, because you were in IT, weren't you? You were in IT before real estate.
Absolutely. So 28 plus years I was in IT. So I did software. Hardware.
28 plus years.
28 plus years. So I did a little bit of software, hardware, and systems engineering. All 3 degrees there, and I pretty much touched just about every application out there: hardware, software, and systems engineering. And so, fair share of latter part of my career of the 28 years. I had a team, a big team that I was in charge of, and so I was pretty much hands off.
Okay.
And so I was really working closely with CIO, CEO, and the board of directors. Strategic planning for the company's future growth, right?
Okay.
And working.
That
with
sounds
business.
really important, guys.
Well, and working with business. I mean, that was the role.
Right.
And I had to stop doing that. It was my choice. My father, he's 75. He's doing great now. He's the best that he can. But there was some time that I needed to take off from IT industry.
Okay.
Because I was teaching classes in the IT world. I was teaching classes, once a month for a full week, and I would travel all across the United States and Canada.
Okay.
And so, being gone for a full week is
hard
tough.
on the family.
It's hard
right.
on the family,
Yeah,
especially to where Dad was in this position about 5-6 years ago. And
So you made that
I
decision
did.
to transition out of something that you'd been doing for 28 years into real estate.
Yes. And
Wow.
So I didn't work for a few years, and then about 3 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago, I decided, hey, it's time to get back. Dad is doing great. He's stable. He's got people looking after him. So I started looking for a new profession, and I wanted something that was flexible, where I could take care of him and be around him as well, and not do that much traveling.
Gotcha. Okay.
Being gone once a week, once a month for a full week is a long time
Now,
to be away.
Now you travel. You travel a lot. I bet you if you really look at it from a real estate perspective, but it's all local.
It is all local.
So
it is all local.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that. It's just training classes here, so I'm still around.
Yep.
So that's the flexibility.
Yep.
So that's when I decided to get into real estate, and ended up with JPAR, and a great company. Thank you, JPAR, for the opportunity. I mean, I had a great time.
Right.
I was third week into it. I was teaching classes there to the agents, and just decided to make a move about 2.5 months ago over to EXP. Only because of the benefits that I see that are more valuable to me. They're more in line with me and my girl and our kids.
Your growth,
and our growth and our future.
So talk to me a little bit, because I want to get into kind of the transition and what the value proposition is from an EXP standpoint to clients.
Sure.
Right, to the individual client that's looking to buy and sell a house, as well as agents. But how do you feel then? Because one, hey, I got to commend you and tell you that, wow, you put family first, and that's amazing. That's so important that you took a step out of a career of 28 years to take care of your father. And it's great to hear that he's doing good now. But how do you feel that IT background for 28 years helps you in the real estate world?
Yeah, so great question. So, when you go to school to learn real estate, and, I didn't know anything about real estate. I did a lot of my personal properties that I bought and sold, and I have rental properties. But outside of that, I had an agent that did everything for me.
Sure.
Shout out to Gwen Snyder.
Okay.
She's been my
What's up, Gwen?
Yeah, she's been my personal agent for a little over 20 years now.
Nice.
18, 20 years, something like that. And she's handled all my real estate. So the main focus was for me to obviously get the license first. When you go to school and you get a license, the one thing you get taught is that how to get your license, how to pass your test.
Yeah.
They do not teach you marketing. They do not teach you how to generate leads. They do not teach you how to do lead follow-ups.
Right.
Once you have enough leads, what do you do with them?
What do you do with them? Right. How do you get them, and what do you do with them?
And you call them 2 months later, and they're like, "Hey, I already bought a house," right?
And you know what? I hear that a lot. I hear that from agents I work with. Like, no, you. There has to be a contact plan, a strategy. There has to be, how many times you're going to be contacting, and what's the follow up, to all that stuff. Because they're telling me, just like you said, I hate it because I see all these conversations I had, whether it's in Facebook Messenger
Yeah.
or my text or calls, and then I try to get back to them 2 or 3 months later.
And they're gone.
They're like, "Oh, we already bought a house,"
Yeah,
and they're like, "No."
The follow-up methodology has to be solid.
Okay.
It has to be solid. Right?
And I got to believe you're going to start talking about IT.
Oh no, well, I will in the sense that, when I first started real estate, with my license, and I didn't have people from my sphere or prospects or my family, that I didn't get any kind of deals from them at all. So some people that join the real estate industry and get their license, they get a lot of volume within the first 3 or 4 months because they have the family.
They talk to their
family.
families, their family, friends, the sphere of influence. That's what they're taught.
Yeah, and so some people are very successful in the first year and they kill it. Me, on the other hand, I kind of stepped back for quite a few months, and the reason I did that is because every new industry I go into, I was in healthcare industry, auto industry, I was with the government, and now real estate. Every industry that I join, at the beginning of the industry, I take a few months just to kind of sit back and relax and kind of just watch the operation of the business, of the industry, if you will. And then from that, I try to formulate a plan on how can I make it better. It's working.
Yep.
Right?
Sure.
Things can be working, that's not a problem, but you can always improve a process.
So it goes back to if you can't find the challenge that you can then build the process on to solve it, then you don't really have a business model that's going to succeed.
Correct.
Right?
I agree. 100%.
If it's no challenge, what are you there for?
Yeah.
There's no value that people are going to see in you, so they're just not going to use you.
That's correct.
Find the challenge, build the process, solve it.
Yeah. Exactly. That's right on the point, because if you can solve it, then more people will listen to you. But you got to prove it first.
Yep.
You got to prove it first. So, after about 6-7 months into real estate, I decided to come up with my own model on blending IT. As you mentioned that I will be talking about IT.
Yep,
IT is a big piece of real estate.
Heck
IT
yeah,
is a
man.
big piece of
It's a
every
big piece of
business.
mortgage. I mean,
it's a big piece of every business.
Yep.
If you think about it, the backbone of every business is IT. More so for real estate, from our marketing, from our promotion, and for our clients.
and really solid organizations and people that really understand information technology, the infrastructure itself,
Yes.
knows that IT can make everything easier
Yes.
when properly implemented and embraced by the users. If you don't embrace it, or it's not implemented properly, you have to have really strong IT professionals that understand the overall value of the organization and how to use it to make it more efficient and deliver a better experience for the internal customers and the external customers. But a lot of IT people, I'm telling you, man, they're way out here. They don't get it, so they just implement stuff without really taking into account what we as internal or them as external need.
Yeah. See, the differentiating factor is I don't walk around looking like Star Wars and Darth Vader and wearing T-shirts and flip-flops and that are all
That's what all IT
geeky.
guys do.
You got to dress for your profession, for your job, and that's it at the bottom line.
Okay.
You can still have the knowledge of IT. You can be superior in all three categories: software, hardware, systems, engineering. But the way you dress is for your next success, for the next job.
Right.
And the way people that you deal with, they're your clients, no matter what business it is, especially true in real estate, is I'm not going to show up with the Darth Vader shirt to go show my house, and the first time I'm meeting the client.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there's a big impression there as well that you have to make to let them know that you're, one, knowledgeable, two, professional. And so,
Brandon, you hear that? You need to show up. You need to dress for success, buddy.
Brandon, that had nothing to do with you. You're not at the forefront of clients. You're at the forefront of Bob. So he's already agreed.
And you know what I want?
Still think I look good though.
You look great.
You look
man.
great, brother.
You look great. I want to dress more like you.
Should.
I should.
Why don't you tag with my stylist?
See what No, Rachel. Rachel Moore at Rachel at @IM_Rachel Moore. If you're on IG out there, that's who you need to follow. She's an amazing stylist. But I really want some awesome Bob Mortgage T-shirts. We got to really. I've been talking about this, man. I got to get it off my plate onto somebody else's because that way it gets done. But I want some really awesome like Bob Mortgage shirts. But we're both going to have to start working out a little bit more so we look good in them.
All three of us. I'll be wearing that shirt. I'll be wearing that shirt. Yes. So,
No, so you take IT. You've looked at the infrastructure, and you sat back, identified kind of what's going on, and how did you bring technology into real estate for you to help others?
yeah, so I looked at different CRM platforms and the models out there, and the ones that I was really connected to was KV Core.
Okay,
Well, back then, a couple of years ago, more than 2.5 years ago, I guess.
it's called conversion,
It was conversion
right?
back
Conversion. Okay, yeah, which
So-
it
yeah.
converted to KV Core.
Yeah.
Okay,
So one of the first things I did is I just learned the system.
okay,
Because that tool is for real estate agents. Most agents, they have it, but they're not utilizing it.
gotcha.
Not to the maximum capacity of it.
Yeah, and guys, that's pretty typical. I think end users, whether it's real estate, it's mortgage, or really any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
industry, maybe would only use what percentage of a piece of technology of a 10%, 20%?
From the CRM standpoint?
Yeah,
Well, the agents themselves are probably using about 60 to 70% of CRM technology, but not to the maximum capacity.
that's what I'm
of
saying.
it offers.
So yeah, like
the knowledge base, I would say about 10 to 15 to maybe 25%.
25%
So-
of the maximum capacity of what that CRM can
Yeah.
do. That's what you're only using. So
Yes.
there's 75 to 80% more potential
Absolutely.
if you know how to get the most
Absolutely.
out of it. Gotcha.
And then it's hands off, and then you put it on autopilot, right? And that's the key. You don't have to make these calls every day. You just got to do your regular follow-ups. And what I came up with is a CTE. It's call, text, email.
Yep.
CTE is your
Yep.
call, text, email every 2 days for every new lead.
So you're 3x2. So
Yep.
So you're 3x2. So
3x2.
call, text, email every 2 days until the client raises their hand,
Yep.
either says yes, interested, no, stop,
Yeah.
defer till later.
Absolutely.
You're just trying to get them to raise their hand and acknowledge you.
Then you just update the system according to what the
Yep.
conversation you have with them.
Yep.
Point in case, and shout out to Adam Beck, one of the guys that I've been working with for about
Yep.
a year and a
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
Good friend of mine. He was referred from another closing that I had a couple years ago in Plano, and turned him on to you. He's got the DPA from
Yep.
you, and so
Yep.
submitted an
Down payment
offer.
assistance is
Yeah.
our acronym for DPA is our acronym for down payment assistance
Yeah,
loans.
DPA,
Yep.
down payment assistance, and just submitted an offer yesterday, and
Yeah,
Leo.
look at that. Look at that.
Leo here helped me out with that.
Good.
I actually called him on Mother's Day on Sunday, and he was like, "Hey, a little busy. I'll take care of this in about an hour." Sure enough, I had a letter in my inbox on Mother's Day, and I showed Adam and his wife 10 properties on Sunday on Mother's Day. So,
That's awesome,
yeah,
man. That's awesome.
It's called teamwork here.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We would have lost out on this house had we not gotten that updated letter, right? And so,
So that was Leo pulling it out on Mother's Day.
yeah.
I mean, look, we all want to have family time.
Sure,
Right? We all
absolutely.
want to have our personal
Yes.
time, but we also all know that when a client needs something, hey, I can't do it now, but I can do it in an hour, and you're like, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Unfortunately, a lot of people wouldn't even respond.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't respond for another hour or two, and that leaves you with silence,
That is correct.
wondering what's going to happen. And that's what we can't, as an industry, do, but that's definitely what
Yeah.
we don't do. We acknowledge quick,
Yeah.
quick to communicate,
Yes.
and say either we got it now, we can do it, or we need to defer it for an hour or two because this is what's going on.
Yes.
99.9% of the time, our partners and our clients are like, oh, hey, thanks, that's awesome. We'll be looking for it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
No.
but you got to understand speed to communicate. We talk about speed to lead,
Speed to lead.
speed to communicate.
It's also
It-
another key.
It is a huge key. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I'll tell Leo that, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, absolutely.
good to make sure he gets the knowledge for that. Good job, Leo, if you're watching
Yeah,
this.
hey, Leo.
But you shouldn't be because
Thank
you're
you,
on the
brother.
phone talking to clients.
But no, speed to lead and as well as speed to communication within the partnerships.
So the technology, so what you looked at when you sat back, you looked at KV Core, you obviously looked at a lot of different CRM systems, because there are a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
Chose KV Core because you felt it had the right flow, the right touch points. I mean, was it built better for you from an IT standpoint?
It was.
Okay.
It was. It made sense to me because of the IT aspect of it. And so back then it was conversion. So I know conversion IT guys out there, the
Uh-huh.
engineers, the web developers
Okay.
that actually have written this code. I've submitted a lot of bugs for the system and how to fix it to them.
Good, okay.
I've been very closely working with them for about 2.5 years now.
Okay.
And then last year, I believe February 14th-ish is when they rolled out KV Core, which is just another version,
Sure.
Another
Version
version of
2.0
KV
or
Core.
whatever. Yeah.
So it replaced Conversion. The only thing changed was the user interface, and they included a lot of other pieces to KV Core.
Okay.
They're more beneficial. So yeah, so the blending of that was, when I started teaching the classes, I realized that people weren't using like campaigns. They didn't know how to set up campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
They would add a lead, but once you add a lead, the system doesn't do anything.
Right.
You got to set
System
them
can
up
only
properly.
do what you tell it
Yeah.
to do, right? That's the thing with, when you really understand what the system can do, then you can instruct it to do things.
Knowledge is power.
Right.
But some people are hesitant to learn because a lot of the agents that I've talked to, even with the KV Core rollout and working with the agents, they're like, well, you know what? I just don't have time to sit down and learn all this. And that's why I teach 2 classes a month. And I teach 3 classes now. I've got scoped out with EXP with over 17,000 agents. I'll be teaching level 101, which is just a basic. Hey, if you haven't used KV Core, which is given to you by EXP, if you haven't used it, come to my level 101 class, and I'll teach you all the basics as a new user. Okay.
So you're teaching. So now you're not. Wait a minute. You're not keeping all this knowledge to yourself?
No, I don't need to. Why do I need to? There's enough business that can go around.
I know.
So
I knew
teach-
that. I just teed you up on that
No,
one because
you did. You did
because a lot of
tee me
people
up 100%.
will keep it, and because they want to keep that to themselves, the tricks of how to do things, how to improve their business, because they feel as if it only improves what they have and their client experience and everything else, and they don't want anybody else to have it. You share.
And I think that's the key. I've been teaching since I was 17 years old in all different markets, right? Healthcare, auto industry, government. I used to teach the United States Air Force pilots in Missouri, Louisiana, here in NSGRV in Fort Worth as well. And my passion is I want to serve and help somebody else. Whether it's a client, whether it's a new lead looking for a house, whether it's
Whoever.
an agent that says, hey, I'm struggling here. I know you've done this before. How can you help me? I'll always make time. Maybe not at the very moment, but I'll always make time to reach back out to these agents and kind of help them in any way that I can. And it's only fair to grow somebody else for what is working for you.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Zig Ziglar's quote. Was it help if you can help enough
that's my
people
favorite
reach
quote.
their goals, then you'll ultimately reach
Yeah.
yours, or some version of that.
Very close to it.
Yeah. And that's something that we talk about as well. I mean, if you really want to reach your goal,
Yeah,
figure out how many people that you can impact to help them reach their goal, so that you get yours.
exactly.
That's what it's about. I mean, that's my first pillar. It seems like it aligns perfectly with you, which my first pillar in my business is to educate,
Yeah.
right? If you're
yeah.
willing to give what you know to help other people,
Yeah.
eventually you win.
Yeah.
Eventually it gets paid back. It gets paid back in some form over time.
Yeah, some form or fashion, different
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it may be just right here.
Yeah.
It may be just right here
Well,
that you're
to
getting
me-
paid back because you feel good
Yeah.
about being a servant leader to be able to help other people.
To me, it's the satisfaction of I'm doing something good for somebody else that needs help.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is what matters to me. So I'll be doing level 101, 102, and 103. So 101 is training.
Uh-huh.
And so 101 is strictly entry level. I don't know anything about KV Core. And then once you take the 101 course, then you're qualified to take 102 course, which is going to be the mid-level course.
Right.
And then the third course is going to be 103, which is going to be the advanced level. Once you've taken 101 and 102, then you can take 103. That'll be the
Okay.
advanced level.
Okay.
So I teach everything from how to set everything up and how to do landing pages, squeeze pages, how to generate leads and ads within KV Core, turn
Gotcha.
them over into Craigslist,
Uh-huh.
and then take the landing pages and squeeze pages and run Facebook lead generation ads as well. Engagement ads, traffic ads, website ads, events ads, if you have open houses. I do geo-targeting. I teach everything I know, I teach. And I learn more just about it on a daily basis.
Yeah. When you
I
teach,
work
you
with these
learn.
guys. I work
When you
with these
teach, you
guys.
learn.
I work with the KV Core team very closely. And so everything new that comes out from them, whatever I learn, I pass it down to my class. And the other thing I do, I think is critical for agents,
Yep.
if you will, is that, my classes, I teach based on what I have tested. I don't bring substance. I don't bring substance to the class unless I've tested it, and I know it's generating leads. I know it's working. I know what the CPL is. That's cost per lead, guys. So CPL, cost per lead. I know what the average is based on what I have ran, and I pay for all that. Nobody pays for that. The company doesn't pay for that. But I'm still getting leads from that.
Sure.
See what I'm saying? But now that I know this particular model is working, I'll teach that at my next class. And then the following class, I'll change that model up again to be something different. And again, to make sure that it works before I bring it back to the table for other agents to learn.
I need to take your class.
Come on over anytime.
Well, I mean, we talk about, and the reason I love what you're saying is, we talk a lot about from a sales perspective, right?
Yeah.
Whether if it's real estate or any other industry, mortgage or cars or whatever, talk a lot about like you got to get outside of just feeling like your sphere of influence is going to build your career.
Yep.
That's the wrong expectation that you've put on them. It's not fair to your sphere of influence.
It is not.
Right? To think that they are going to be responsible for building everything that you want in your life, it's just it's not going to work. It's a wrong expectation. They're going to fail you.
Yes.
Because one, they haven't accepted that responsibility. So they can't exceed it, right? They haven't accepted it. Right? So what you're doing is you're going on the offense.
Yes.
You're teaching agents to go on the offense to build a business within a business that markets and then has a process for retention, conversion and retention.
It does. KV
to get them to that ultimate end result, which is a closed and happy and successful client.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. And how to and you're right there on the point is how to utilize the system at the maximum capacity and capability. But you got to learn it. And what I have found out throughout my career in different areas, different fields, is that people can show up to the class and learn it and not apply it. It's not going to work if you're not going to apply the knowledge that you've learned. That is proven already. And people get sidetracked is the other thing that I've noticed in the class as well. And those two pieces, and then some, when I have a class, if 50 people register, maybe 20 will show up.
Yeah.
Especially if it's Monday morning or if it's raining. So, this is all depending on how dedicated are you in your business profession and how much do you want it? How badly do you want it?
90%, 95%, 98%, whatever it is, that people that go to events, seminars, classes, leave and don't do anything on the other side. They don't apply. And so it's just crazy. It's fitting because, my 3 pillars to my business is to educate. We've talked about that.
That's number 1.
Communicate. We've talked about that, right? A little bit. Now, there is a difference between just communication and proactive communication, right? So we can kind of go through there. But my last pillar is execute.
Yeah.
If you made a point like knowledge is power, completely buy into that and believe it. Knowledge is power. But the most powerful thing is the execution that happens after you obtain that knowledge.
That's the last pillar.
And there are a lot of smart people that don't do anything. They're really smart, but they don't have the ability to execute. There are people that aren't really that smart that have done amazing things because all they do is execute, and they pivot, they execute, they pivot because they don't know what they're going down. They just know they need to go down that road, and then they get there and they're like, I need to change it up because it wasn't the right path or I needed to modify it a bit. And they're so good at executing, they just modify and continue to execute.
They do.
They move forward. Yes, they may come back a little bit, but then they move forward again. And no matter what, they're further down the railroad track than the person that sits there saying, I have all this knowledge,
but I'm not going to do anything with it.
And they don't do anything with it. And they stand still and they get run over by this other cat who just goes. Right? So, I mean, execution is everything.
I think that is a differentiating factor in being successful, is you gotta have that drive. The drive is, I can do this. I want to learn this. I'll make time for it.
It's sexy.
And I'll apply the knowledge that it needs.
The sexy buzzwords are the let's hustle or I'm going to grind.
Yeah. Well, what is hustle and grind? If you're not really applying anything to it, you can get referrals all day long if you've built up a great business over the past 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of closed homes, but are you stagnant or are you still moving forward? Right?
Yeah.
You can multiply just based on the systems, technologies, and having more leads and more clients, and not just the referrals.
Yeah.
Why say no to it?
Can't.
Right? To me, whoever comes to me and says, hey, I need help, I'm looking for a house, this is my situation, and my objective at that point is, how can I assist you based on your situation?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a first-time buyer? Hey, let's talk to Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Bob here is, congratulations, 2018 Seth Gold Star, #1 in the state of Texas.
Yeah, look at that.
Right? So we're not saying #1 in Dallas Fort Worth, we're saying #1 in the state of Texas.
Yep. Which, by the way, is
huge.
the down payment assistance program, guys.
Yeah.
So if you're out there,
Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of clients
Well,
that are interested in,
So down payment assistance isn't for just people that have no money. I mean, we've taken people that have had a lot of money, $200,000 in the bank, and actually utilize down payment assistance to cover their down payment,
Yeah.
and sometimes all of their closing costs, where we're getting buyers into homes with no money out of pocket. It's just a strategy.
It is.
For those that have money, it's a strategy as to why we would go that route over pulling money out of an investment account or wherever it is.
Okay.
We just want to look at the cost benefit and make sure that whichever product loan program we're selecting
Yeah.
is going to deliver to them the lowest total cost of ownership, meaning the least amount of interest and mortgage insurance that they're going to pay over the period of time they're going to keep the house, as compared to what, if any, tax implications they have when they pull that money out.
Right.
So it's a strategy, guys. If you have money, these programs still work. But if you don't have a ton of cash, I mean, I've had people come to me with $2,000 and they're buying houses. Some people have come to me with $12,000. Okay. And we're still looking at the down payment assistance because the $2,000 really needs it, because you can't buy a house
Of
with
course.
$2,000.
Of course.
The person with $12K, yeah, you could potentially buy the house. But do you want to go into the house cash poor?
Yeah.
Meaning you bought it and you have no money left over.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Cash is king.
Yeah.
Cash is king in home buying, cash is king in business. Cash delivers everything that you need. It gives you that peace, right? And so we look at those programs to get you in so that you may have $4,000, may have $12,000
Yeah.
left over, so that you can do the things that I know that you want to do, which is furnish. You're going to want to, fix up the outside. You're going to want to do those things.
Well,
You're
that
gonna
or
want
emergency fund as a backup.
emergency fund, right? Yeah, you
family
lose
with
your job. I
kids.
want to make sure you got
Yeah.
some money left over. That's
Right.
responsible lending. But these are amazing programs. And like Sonny said, we were the #1 in the state of Texas for those types of programs. It's really easy if you guys want to see if you can qualify. Go to BobMortgage.com. You can hit apply now to build your profile. We'll be able to get back to you on that stuff. Really, first and foremost, reach out to Sonny. Sonny will talk to you about kind of what the opportunities are in the marketplace for homes, and then he'll get you over to me. If you want to learn about any of that stuff, just go Facebook, IG, just search me. I'm at Bob Mortgage, and I actually go through all this stuff on video all day, so you can get all that stuff for free, at least the knowledge behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can always call Bob's office here as well. Get a hold of any one of his loan officers here, and they'll be able to explain that to you in detail as well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get shout outs
It's-
usually on my channel, so this is good. This is good.
So, no, I think this is great. What we're doing here is educating. And
Right.
like your first pillar is educate. A lot of people that want to purchase a house, a lot of people that are renting, a lot of people that want to move or that have a house.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's enough education there that for the right person to explain, to let them know what
Yeah.
their options are.
Right.
And that's the biggest differentiating key between somebody says, hey, I want to buy a house, but I don't know where to start. Right? So the starting is they talk to the agent. Agent has to be proficient and knowledgeable enough to know what options this particular client has.
Yep.
Right? And so I can open up a door with the client, said, okay, no problem. I mean, there's maybe a potential here, depending on their circumstance, situation. I turn it over to you, Bob, your team, and say, okay, this is the situation. One of your guys gets on the phone and learns everything about it from A to Z, and say, okay, this is what we can do, or this is what we can't do, right? And so education is the key, but a lot of folks are turned away by not enough real estate agents that actually want to help,
Yeah.
or because it's a lack of knowledge to
Well,
where to guide them.
The thing with education, and this is the reason why we started the path of education and became my first pillar, was I do subscribe to the philosophy that if you can help more people reach their goal, ultimately you'll reach yours.
Sure.
But I also did it, guys, and this is really important, because when you remove your expectation of somebody else to you, and you just give, then everybody's going to win, and you're going to feel better about what it is that you do within your business and for whom you do it for, right?
Yes.
Because you're just giving knowledge. You're just helping people. And it's a long play when you go that route to build a brand around education. But ultimately, I'm a sitting, testament to tell you that it pays off tenfold in what you get back in return. So it was really more about the subscription to giving more, but also me removing the expectation that I had on other people, because you get disappointed. If you just put stuff out there and you expect something back in return, you're going to be very disappointed in people. And it's unfair. Like I said, it was unfair to those other people. It's unfair for me to put an expectation back to you so that I can get something back in return.
That is correct. I'm 100% in agreement with you there. And this is part of my class. Every now and then I'll explain that as well, is that give without expecting anything back.
Right.
You're doing it out of your heart to help others.
Yep.
So the analogy I can put towards that is, don't go to the church and the basket is being passed around and you're on your last $10.
Mm-hmm.
And don't put the $10 in there and ask the good Lord to give you $100 for that $10. Because now it's become about yourself.
Yep.
You're self-centered. It's about you. You're struggling. You're not in the business of helping somebody else with your last $10.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as you make it about somebody else and not expect anything in return, you're doing the good work.
I love that. I really do. That's actually really sound advice, because giving is through prayer. And,
It is.
And those are different. Those are completely different conversations.
Yeah.
But speaking of helping other people, you did make a transition to EXP.
I did.
And I know, because we talk a lot and,
Yeah.
and we do business together and stuff like that, but I know the transition was really built upon your feeling of how you can help more people grow. So
Yeah.
kind of, if you wouldn't mind talking about that, because we have two people here that really watch our shows, our jam sessions. Obviously agents watch it, but we also have potential buyers and sellers
as well,
that
yes.
are out there watching this.
Yes.
So kind of give people an idea and understanding of, first let's start with the client, then we can go to the agent. Why that you feel this move to EXP and what it all offers and what you now have the ability to do is going to help an end user client?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start off with the client side. On the client side, potential person that wants to, either a client wants to buy or sell, or a rental property in this case.
Sure.
Or retail or commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So either one of these clients will fit any real estate market. The reasoning for EXP for me also was because of all 50 states that we're in and in Canada. And so we're all across. And if somebody calls me that comes in through one of my ads as a lead, I had a lady call me last week from North Carolina. I hooked her up directly with an EXP agent, just in the same city.
Yep.
Yeah, which is, it's hard to do when you're a smaller firm.
Sure.
So number one was I can reach out to anybody that needs help all across the United States and Canada.
Like that.
With over 17,000 agents, we're not lacking in terms of who can help.
Sure.
It's where are they and how can we help.
Sure.
So it was a very big attractive model for me. And also I wanted to take my teaching to the next level as well. And so, I'm in a position now working with corporate to teach over 17,000 agents all across 50 states and in Canada. But I'll be doing it remotely from here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I won't be doing much traveling. It'll just be from here.
Mm-hmm.
To me, giving is a big piece. Teaching is a big piece. And I just saw this as a bigger opportunity to help more agents, right? And they're certainly welcoming me to do that. We already have a plan established for Class 101, 102, and 103.
Right.
So those two were the key things, along with their offering as well. They have a lot of different plans that a lot of the brokerage companies don't offer. They have a rev share check plan that comes in. You get a rev share check every month. And it's not based on a team. It's based on a network. So the bigger your network, the bigger your rev share check is every month. And then you can purchase stocks at 5%. Per transaction, per closing, 5% at the EXPI stock at 20% discount.
Wow.
You can't. I mean, why would I not sign up for that per closing of my transaction?
Right.
You get stocks on your first closing. You get stocks on every closing from your network as well. So it's a win-win situation if you look at it in the long run. If you compare the numbers, it's just overall a better model. And I'll go one step further. Technology, again, as you know, is a big piece for me.
Sure. Yep.
So another reason why I went to EXP is they have something that's called EXP World. And it literally is like a video game, right? You just log onto it on your computer, and you have avatars, and you're in this EXP world. It literally is just a world, and you can just travel wherever you want to, all 50 states or Canada.
Right.
You can go to any broker that you want to.
Uh-huh.
So from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday to Friday, they have full support. You can literally go in there, whatever avatar you have,
Sure.
right? And you can just say go to. You can go to tech support, and you pull out a ticket if there's a line. Or if there's no line, you're sitting right in front in a cartoon video game, but you're talking to a live person on the other end. You're getting your questions answered now, not when you shoot an email and say, I need help with this. Here's a support. Support says, here's a support ticket. We'll get back to you. And you don't hear from them in a week or two. What if that was the case that I have experienced many times, that you're asking a question based on holding a client back?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if the client is waiting for a week or 2 weeks, you're losing trust.
Time kills deals, speed wins.
You're losing trust. So one of the things I teach in my class as well is that, guys, number one thing you have to do is anytime you can generate 1,000 leads a month. That's not a problem. When you talk to somebody the first time on the phone, your objective, and the first objective is to gain their trust.
Gain their trust.
Yeah. If they will do business with you, if they trust you, they will listen to you, have coffee with you. If they don't trust you.
Correct.
So those are multiple reasons. There are a lot more reasons why I joined DXP as well, but those are more detailed in terms of how the agent benefits.
If somebody wants to find you, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can shoot me an email at Sonny, SONNYVHA @gmail.com. That's the letters Victor Henry Alpha. So SonnyVHA @gmail.com, or you can call me on my cell phone anytime at 972-922-0857.
Yeah, guys, and we'll have obviously all that data when we put this.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it's already live, so we can we'll have all that data out there. I think it already exists out there too, doesn't it, Brandon? Brandon always takes care of that.
You
already
not,
has your
yeah,
emails and your phone numbers out there, but I'm not giving a live.
I'll give you the
live
detailed
shout out.
I'll give you the detailed version of that, Brandon, as well. So you'll get the breakdown of what I'm talking about here as well. So a lot of nice things happening with DXP.
Good.
So the other thing is 2 classes a month with DXP. I'm doing the second class that's going to be on the 4th week of every month. That class is going to be for agents that are not with DXP.
Okay.
So a free training class that I'm going to be teaching.
Okay.
It'll be about an hour and a half course, and it will be how to use KV Core, whether you used it or it doesn't matter what brokerage firm that you're with.
Okay. So it's open to any brokerage firm.
It's open to any agent at any brokerage firm that is outside of EXP.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the first training class that I'm doing at the first week of the month is only for EXP agents.
Okay.
The fourth class that I'm doing, the second class that I'm doing per month is the 4th week. And I'm still working on establishing the schedule and the conference room for that. But
How will people find out about these classes?
I will be posting them on my
good.
site.
Post them online.
And I'll be working with you as well.
Social.
So, social media primarily. Primarily social media. But again, you guys can reach out to me as an agent, and I can give you more details on what the class. I'll give you a little quick rundown of what the class contains. It's KV Core, what the platform is, what benefits do you have, how do you use it, how do you generate landing pages, squeeze pages, how do you utilize Craigslist, and how do you generate leads on Facebook ads. Now, guys, these classes can cost anywhere from $100 per person to $500 per person. Facebook ads class alone is expensive, and KV Core classes are not cheap as well. They're about $100 per person, but I'll be doing them every month, once a month, 4th week of the month for non-EXP agents, and I'll publish my schedule out here in about a couple weeks. So all free to you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, again,
All
knowledge sharing.
Complimentary.
Look
at that.
Knowledge sharing. It's all about helping other agents, and I've had quite a few agents that have reached out to me that are not within my past brokerage or with DXP. And they're like, hey, I see you all over here, and you're a friend of mine on Facebook, and I just want to reach out to see if you have some time. So the problem I run into is I get a lot of those, a lot of them.
Yeah.
The problem is that I cannot make one-on-one time for everybody.
Right.
In
I
terms
get
of
it.
teaching,
I get it.
and that's why I create the schedules for these 2 classes a month to say, here's the schedule. If you can't make it this month, come the next month.
Yep.
But if 50 agents called me and said, hey, let's go have lunch or dinner.
One-to-one meetings.
Yeah, that's going to kill my schedule for the month.
Yep.
So.
Yeah,
but-
same way we live in our world. I mean, it's the one-to-ones they're important, they're necessary. I love them.
Yeah.
It's just hard to make time for all the one-on-ones.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
that's why you have 365 days in a year,
Yeah.
and you try to stay booked to meet with enough people. But if you embrace it properly,
Yes.
you use technology, video, things of that nature to be able to get yourself to the people that need to hear you, but they don't necessarily need to be in front of you. So a lot of times, I mean, guys, just kind of tidbits like this. I mean, I'll have a meeting, and I mean, it's just a video, and I'm doing a quick meeting, and then out of here, set it and go.
And
It may be a 2-way meeting, or it may be a single-way meeting. Meaning, I'm just recording my video, sending it to the person, so that I can have a one-on-one, and then come back and send 3 more. And it changes the game when you can embrace video to have them see you, because they can see your emotions. That's why I don't like text and emails. They're necessary, we use them, but when you have to get a point across, or when you want people to really understand what you're saying, pick up the phone, record the video, send it, because they connect with you so much better.
Yeah, and it's more personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you feel like the connection is different than, you don't see the emotions in text. Well, just avatars or emojis, yeah. But outside of that, it's different.
It is.
But I agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah. So what else is going on, man? What else is going on in your life? You got anything? Got Memorial Weekend coming up. Any big plans?
I'll probably be showing some homes.
Good. I like that.
So, I work 7 days a week, and it's just because I choose to. I do spend my family time as well. With kids and my parents and family, and my brother and my sister, and they're and Christy and our kids there. But the bigger piece is, for me, is to, when somebody needs help, I'll make time for it. But I don't neglect my time with my family and my friends either. So no major plans. I'm not planning to go out. Although I would love to get away for a week, maybe go to Mexico or something like that. But
we same way. I mean, you got to have the family time. I mean, guys out there, when you work as hard as you do and we do, you got to find time to make that family time. It's really super important.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I did with Adam on Sunday when I showed him 10 homes to Adam and his wife Ashley. We started early, and I told him, I said, the last one is going to be at 5 p.m. and that was in Arlington. And I said, he added, I scheduled all the 10 homes, and then he sent me an email. Adam, this is for you, buddy. So he sent me an email immediately when I texted him, and I said, all 10 are scheduled. I sent him a calendar invite for all 10 homes. And he's like, there are 5 more here. They're in Mesquite. I'm like, nope. The last one I'm showing you is at 5 o'clock. And that happened to be the last house that we put the offer in yesterday.
How awesome is that?
And so, and I was like, look, I'm not trying to be negative about this. I said, 10 homes is great, but after the 5th home in Arlington, the 10th home in Arlington, after 5 p.m., I said, I want to go back. I want to spend some time. I want to spend some time with Mom. I'm going to stop by and get her some flowers and just spend the rest of the evening with her.
Awesome, man.
Get her something to eat. She cooks all the time, so it's just Mom and my time. And he's like, oh man, I totally understand. And so.
Well, man, I really appreciate you you coming by. I mean, guys, if you're out there, you're looking for, you want to chat about opportunities, kind of explore what's out there with EXP, you need some advice on the technology side, hook up with Sonny, look at his profile. You'll have all the links and all that stuff in there, but definitely go to his class, because I work with the guy. He's a wizard with KV Core. He really helps and embraces the things that we do on our lead gen side, and how we can help with the speed to lead, and just giving clients a great feel about the experience they're having. He knows how to deliver that. So definitely go to his class, man. But I really appreciate you
Yeah.
you stopping by.
No, thank you
the
for
jam
having me
session.
over. Really
81st
appreciate
jam
that.
session.
So,
Guys, thanks so much for giving us your time, your eyes and your ears, and go have a great day and make somebody else's day even better. Take care.